Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and if you're one of those people who enjoys a good cup of coffee in the morning, you're going to love today's recipe because I'm going to show you how to make Café de Olla. This is a sweet, cinnamon and spice flavored coffee that is traditionally made in an olla de barro, which is an earthen clay pot. But even if you don't have one, you can still make and enjoy this delicious coffee, hot or cold. There's a really great restaurant near where I live called Alebrijes that my husband Tony and I like to go to, usually on Sundays after church, and they serve the best Café de Olla. It's like a little mini vacation when you sip it out of these authentic barro or clay cups. So after going there recently and enjoying a wonderful breakfast, I was inspired to make Café de Olla at home. Now, if you want to join me in making it with a clay pot, just make sure that it's been cured first. And I may show you in a future video how to do that, but if not, just look up how to do that. And if you don't have a clay pot, you can just make this in a saucepan so long as you have a lid for it. But here's what you're going to need: 6 cups of water, 1 8-ounce cone of piloncillo, 2 cinnamon sticks, 2 whole cloves, 1 star anise, and about 6 teaspoons of coffee grounds. And you want them to be fresh. You don't want to use instant coffee. I'm going to be grinding my own coffee beans, and I have one of these little coffee scoops that I use to measure, and I use 1 heaping scoop per cup of water. Just so you know, this isn't quite a tablespoon, but it is definitely more than a teaspoon. So what I did is once I ground it, I measured it out, and it turned out to be 12 teaspoons. Now that's how I like my coffee, but if you like your coffee stronger, you can add more, or if you like it weaker, less. But typically it's about 2 teaspoons per cup of water. So let's go ahead and get started. First, place your pot or saucepan on the stovetop over medium-high heat and fill it with the water. Then drop in the piloncillo, as well as the cinnamon sticks, the cloves, and the star anise. As the water begins to heat up, it will become infused with the cinnamon and other spices, and the piloncillo will begin to break up and dissolve. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I'm going to grind my coffee beans. Now I'll set them aside while I check back in on the pot and stir so that everything is well mixed. The water is definitely starting to turn darker. Now, I know we live in a day when everyone has a Keurig and you're used to making a quick cup of coffee in the morning before work. Well, Café de Olla is definitely not something you would make when you're in a hurry. It takes probably about 15 minutes or so for the piloncillo to fully dissolve. So this is something that you want to make for a special occasion or on a long weekend. It's just something a little nice and sort of fun to make an old traditional recipe like this. It's so worth the time. Once the piloncillo has fully dissolved, let it come to a low boil, then add in your ground coffee. Give it a good mix. Cover with the lid, turn off the burner, and let it steep for 5 minutes. This Café de Olla is all done, so I'm going to go ahead and pour myself a cup. Now you can either just skim the coffee from the top of the pot because the coffee grounds should have gone to the bottom, but just in case, you're really better off if you use a fine mesh strainer and a piece of cheesecloth because you still have all those other ingredients that you don't want to get in your coffee. And you can clearly see that there were quite a bit of grounds in there. And some of that anise star as well. This smells so good, and it's nice and hot, just the way I like it. Now, you definitely don't need to add any sugar because it is plenty sweet with the piloncillo, but I do like some cream in my coffee. This is so good. It's sweet and cinnamony, and there's sort of a depth with the other seasonings, the star anise in particular, that really comes through. It's just wonderful, and it goes fantastic with pan dulce, which I have on standby. But first, I want to make some coffee for my husband. If you're like him, once it starts to get hot, he likes his iced coffee, and this Café de Olla works perfectly. I made some earlier, just pulled this out of the refrigerator. So I'm just gonna quickly pour this over some ice. And I'll add some cream. That even looks beautiful. All right, hon, go ahead and come out and have some. Come join me.
Yes.
And we have our pan dulce also.
Yeah, looks good.
This really is a wonderful treat. Go ahead and give it a try and let me know what you think.
Ooh, that's super sweet. That's great.
Good stuff. Iced coffee as well. Well, I really hope that you try this at home and that you take a moment to just relax and savor it, because it really is like a mini vacation in every cup or glass. But right now, I think this plate is calling our name. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I also invite you to follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.